Hello. I don't know if it's working. It's the first time I'm doing a YouTube live this way, so I forgot to even pull my bangs down. But oh well. I hope some of you are on. I have absolutely no idea if it's working. So if you are, will you let me know? Maybe you can write it on the chat. I think the chat's open as well. Sorry to make all these noise. And I'm hoping that maybe Chris will let me know that I am on. So anyway, I will get started because it's recording. And welcome for those of you that found me somehow through the emails that I was sending you. And happy full moon. Happy full moon again. It's a super moon that is really close to, well, it's the closest to the earth this year. So hi, I'm glad some of you are here. Yay. I'm trying this out. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work very smoothly or not, but bear with me. And I just wanted to come on for a quick little live call about the moon and the supermoon that we're experiencing right now. Just about a half an hour ago, it was basically at the height. And, you know, we get to enjoy this during the day. If you're in the United States, and in Europe, you'll be enjoying this at night. And in other parts of the world, it will be early in the morning. So yeah, hi, I see you guys. Meaning I see your chat. And I decided Chris and I were kind of like going through, how do we do this live thing? And it was a little confusing. So I thought, I'll just settle my body and then tune into the moon and pull a card and get started on what this moon has to say for us, or maybe has a message for us. So I picked a card from Colette's. I'm sure many of you have this one from this oracle card, Wisdom of the Oracle card. Well, hello, everyone. And I picked a card that is so perfect. I was just sitting going, what do we need to hear? And what do we need to learn from this full moon right now? And the card is Here and Now. And you see that the post that says past and future. And here's the door, but it's like an egg-like shaped things. And this beautiful little fairy-like creature is sitting on top of this egg. And you can see the little face. Okay. And then it says, be here now. So that to me is a perfect message for today with today's full moon. And, with all full moon, it's bright. Today's full moon is especially bright. So it amplifies what's been hidden. Okay. It amplifies and illuminates and shines and shows more of the things that you might be needing to address, you've been needing to look at, but maybe you're doing this, you're trying to hide it or you're trying to avoid it, but it's illuminating all that. So it's important to come back to here and now, like the card that I picked, and see what wants to shine. What is asking for your attention right now? And I have notes here. I'm using Chris's computer today because we're still playing with this YouTube live. So I have notes that I wrote up for today that I wanted to share. So let me take a look at what I have written here. It's like a stream of consciousness when I'm writing this. So I have to go back. It's giving you kind of a wide view. So going back to this card, she's sitting on this top of an egg, and it says here and now, or be here now. But do you see that she gets a really nice view of down below, the past and the future, and all the things underneath is smaller in scale. The mountains are a little bit smaller down below. Maybe those are little valleys and hills. So it's giving you kind of a big picture of things that you're looking at from above. Yeah. It's a wide view. And this is very important that you see it all illuminated so you could get a good sense of what's going on in your life, what's been going on in your life, and in the world as well. And also, from the last couple of clients that I've worked with in the past 2 days, moving towards this full moon, there's been a lot of like family secrets and family hidden histories, maybe resentments, even family betrayals that were hidden, and it was kind of kept as secret, has come up to surface, and that's getting some of the light illuminated on that. So make sure that you don't ignore that, because that is getting, those things are getting illuminated for a reason, that you need to maybe learn a little bit more about this family secret. Maybe you had something that you had hidden deep down inside you that it's starting to surface and you need to cough that back up. So physically, you might be even feeling a little bit off, like you feel a little toxic. You might feel like you want to get some of the mucus stuff out of your system. That can be kind of a normal thing that could be happening right now. So pay attention to that. And when you're illuminating wide and getting the big picture of things, you start to see that who are your support system, and or what group of people. And maybe they're a group of people that you just know that they're not going to continue to support me, or they've never supported me. Then you've got to shed that. This is a great time during the full moon to see what supports you and what doesn't support you, that you weren't clear on. Okay. And also, you're looking for others that will help you, others that will assist you in your path and in the things that you want to maybe try out in the future. Okay. And you've been thinking about it, you've been talking about it. You get to decide who are your support system and who's there to walk you through together with you in this midst of chaos and confusion and challenges and instability. So that's kind of this particular full moon is bringing up for a lot of us. And I have a couple more things I can say about this, but this particular full moon is very much like bringing more awareness to your emotions, because since the last new moon, but even I will go back to the last full moon, it's been pretty challenging. I mean, I would say very challenging for all of us emotionally. And we all, as collectively, been going through a lot. So it's a great time to go back and maybe check back into some of the feelings, some of the maybe patterns that's been coming for you a lot, and say, wow, I get so easily agitated, or wow, I got frustrated so fast, or I got overwhelmed and shut down. Those are some of the emotions that maybe you've been dealing with. Then, or even numbness, which we talked about on Sunday during the holding the space for what's been going on in our lives here on this earth right now. But some of these feelings are going to get a little bit more exposed today, a little bit more illuminated. Okay. So don't ignore them. If you've been dealing with the emotions of like, I'm alone, I am not quite, I don't belong anywhere, I feel so lonely and nobody understands me, then that gets amplified, especially today. So your job is to not look at that and say, well, who is ostracizing me or who is kicking me out of their tribe? But it's more like, what in me that I can shift and change for the next couple of weeks till we welcome the new moon, that I can change the way I look at the world. Maybe how you've been feeling isn't quite right, but instead of saying, I shouldn't feel that way, or I'm just going to ignore it, it's like, no, bring it out, put it on the table, take a look at how you've been feeling, because that all needs to get digested and processed and detoxed. So for those of you that took my Moon 29.5 day course, you know which organ is really important right now. right? And which organ is doing a lot of that clearing and detox right now. So we've been building and building and building up. So you want to help the digestive and elimination organs. um I forget the name. It's in naturopathic world. I think they call it homuncturi or something like that, organs. But you want to look at organs and endocrine systems and different systems of your body that is helping you to detox right now, because you've been building and building and building. Okay. All right. Then let's see. And Linda, it's lungs. We did talk about lungs, but lungs are not right now in the organ, so that we're focusing on at the new moon. But lungs are definitely one of the elimination organs, very important elimination organs. So if you want to focus on your lungs today, let's say if that's the organ that is calling on you today personally, then you definitely want to focus on your exhales, right? And I wanted to take a moment right now to, as a full moon, no matter what time of the year, anytime when you're celebrating full moon, you want to celebrate the fullness of who you are and the fullness of this earth, and how much that is to us, the fullness that illuminates the external world and internal world. But I want you to take a moment right now, maybe put one hand at the heart, maybe other hand at the belly. And I'm going to read some of the words that I have written down for your full moon. Okay. Full moon is a time to really bring gratitude back into your heart, gratitude back into your body, and say what you have learned. And I don't know what just happened, Chris. Was it the paper? Was it on the paper was showing? Because I need to look at my notes. So, oh, it's on the microphone. Sorry, everyone. Okay. So it was scratching. So I want you to kind of come back to your body and say, what have I learned? What have I learned in the last, especially a month or so, from the last full moon to this full moon? And also take a look at the last 2 weeks. It seems short, but it's very important you look at the last 2 weeks and say, what have I learned? What have I accomplished? Maybe what have you accumulated in terms of knowledge? Maybe a sense of knowing. Could be things. Maybe you accumulated some things. Okay. It doesn't matter, but just like things that you're so grateful for that you have been able to wax onto, right? That you can take in. And what have you so it's like a culmination time. So what have you received, and what have you been able to hold on to, and you didn't have to release or let go of? Because there's certain things that you want to hold on to, right? And then maybe certain things you experienced that you say, oh wow, this was a great experience that I was able to take in. What were you able to manifest, but like pull in, pull in from the universe? What were those things? What were you able to attract? And what were you able to harvest? It's not the harvesting moon, that tends to come in the fall, but it's full moon is the time to recognize what you have waxed on, what have you been able to take in and pull in and receive. And what have you been able to complete? Do you have something that you set aside that you said, I'm going to get this done in 2 weeks, and you got it done? Okay. Chris and I have a couple things that we have been able to complete, and that's something we're celebrating. And have you had some kind of a closure that you were able to maybe let go of, maybe a relationship that was no longer going to serve you in the here and the now, and that you were able to let go of and have a closure with that? And this is seeing the fruits of your labor. That's what the full moon is. So make sure you're celebrating that and seeing the beauty in how much you've done. Okay. And be inspired not only by other people, but be inspired by how much you've been able to do. Okay. Right. And a couple more things is that this full moon happens to happen in like a middle of the month also. So this is a very important full moon to use like a checkpoint kind of thing. This is the midway point that you can check in with yourself. Where am I this month? Did I have any things that I put out that I was going to get done this month? How have I come, how far have I come in that? So it's a good checkpoint. So along with how much have I accomplished in the last 2 weeks, it's a checkpoint for July, okay? And then that way you can look back at it in about another 2 weeks or so to celebrate the new moon and say, okay, we can get started again, right? We're in this cycles constantly, so it's a great time to do that. And as you know, the full moon means to become full, to become whole. I think in the last, it's so many months, but so many weeks also, but so many years, we just feel shattered. We feel like there are pieces of us that's just like, I need to go fetch it back. And I got to go back and get a part of me that's shattered. But at the same time, we're not broken. We're whole, right? We're a whole person. So make sure that you check back in with yourself and say, I am fully here. Return to here and now. That's the card, right? Return to here and now today. Over and over, check back in. Am I here? Am I fully here? Am I attending to this 100%? And I also wrote down to become a whole person, to be a whole being. We want to have a good balance between the heavens and the earth. We want to have a good balance between the front and the back. It's the future and the past, but also the frontal body and the back body. And in the Zen and also in the Upaya Center, I forgot the name of the person that said this, but there's a Buddhist teacher that's very famous. She says that to have the balance is to have soft front and strong back. So you want to have a very strong backbone, but you also want to have a softer front. So that's what it is to be a whole person, is to hold these things together. So you're not all rigid and you're not all protective, but you have the soft front to trust what's happening in this world and to your life, and still have a good boundaries and a strong spine to hold you up. Okay. And then obviously, so I talked about the top and bottom, right? Heaven and earth kind of thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Joan Halifax, that says, Roshi Joan Halifax. Thanks, Chris. That says the softer front, strong back. So make sure you check in with yourself. And maybe this is a good day to do a little bit of yoga pose that you do it on the floor. So a little bit of Sphinx or maybe upward dog. Maybe you could do, elbows down and hold the plank kind of a thing to have a strong front. And then, a strong front, but the strong back, and then be able to breathe in that kind of a position. Okay. And cow and cat is great too. Something like that will really emphasize that the flexibility of the front and the strength and the mobility of the back also, because you don't want to have a rigid back either. Okay. And, this is to be whole, is to know that you have individual cells and you have individual microbes that are working for you. And it's very important that you take care of these microbial environment inside, but you also want to look at the macro picture and say, how do I take care of my day-to-day food intake? How do I take care of my sleep patterns? Am I being true to the cycles of the lunar cycles as well as the solar cycles? So that's the bigger picture, and also the microbes in the smaller cellular level of who you are. So, and I think a lot of times our practices in the spiritual world becomes very top down. So we do a lot of imaginations and maybe meditations that you take yourself out of your body. But it's also important right now to balance what it is to be in the body. So you do like a bottom up practice. That will be right now, just do that quickly. Bottom up practice, which is to just notice your body, right? So hands, you can rub it and then get them to be really, really warmed up and excited. Okay. blow in some pranas, and put your hands on your thighs, get connected to your thighs, wiggle your toes, and you can close your eyes and just quickly scan your body from your toes, ankles, the top of your feet, calves, maybe your kneecaps, your thighs, back of the hamstrings, your hips, coming up the front of your body. Is it soft and breathing? How your diaphragm is moving up and down, up and down. How's your back? Do you have a nice curvature in your back? Do you have that little angle at the lower spine where your S1 and your L5 comes in? Do you have that nice curvature? I'm looking for about almost 30-degree angle there so you can fluff up your tail. Okay. And how's the back of your head? Is it lifted? Okay. Things like that. So that will be the bottom up practice that you can do. So you're not always taking yourself out of this body and then do the very elaborate imagination. That's also good. But if that's all you do, then you're kind of lopsided. Okay. So you want to do the bottom up practice as well. Okay. And the left and right. So it's like it could be, feminine, masculine, that kind of yin and yang. Don't get too caught up in male body versus female body. Okay. We all have feminine and masculine energies in us, but maybe you want to balance those out, right? Okay. And, fullness means not divided. Fullness means wholeness. Fullness means that you are not stuck in duality. And if you're stuck in duality, this full moon is going to illuminate and amplify that for you. And it will let you know that you're getting too dualistic. This is good. This is bad. This is a good group of people. This is a bad group of people. Okay. That's not how it works. I get people that asking me in the email saying, I hope it's like, a group of people that I feel I can connect to, like-minded people. Like-minded people are important because they can support you, like I said earlier. But if you're always chasing after like-minded people, you are not stretching yourself. You are not softening your front. You're hardening yourself. Okay. So be open. Be open to what is needing to be illuminated, what is getting amplified, what are the areas of your life that you're kind of ignoring. You're saying you've crossed these people off because they don't believe in the same thing you do. Well, maybe this is a great time to have the fullness in you to be able to say, I want to know why you believe the way you do. And I'm not judging you. I just want to get to know you. Something like that, that brings out more of the curiosity in you. That's going to open up your heart more. Okay. I think, yeah, it's a journey of holism. We're journeying through what it is to be whole. And that's where we're headed, hopefully. And so the full moon is really reminding you to come back to that. And for those of you that have been following me a long time, you know my 4H, or some of you have heard it as a 3H practice, right? I'm not going to go into the practice today, but all these H's stands for. One H is the head, second H is the heart, the third H is the hara, and the fourth H is the hand, okay, or hands. So work with all 4 H's, okay? Use your hands. When you're muscle testing, use your hands. Don't decide based on your head. Don't decide based only on your heart either. And you got to ask your hara, right? And hara means gut, everyone. So, and use your hands. So 4H practice becomes very, very important during this time. And I think, yeah, this full moon is a very, I feel like it's coming at the divine timing to me. And it's practically in the middle of July to let us know that we need to check back in to the whole of who you are. If you've left parts of you somewhere in the past and some of you are worrying about the future, then you're being torn apart. So it's one thing to stretch yourself and open your heart, but if you feel like you have left pieces of you somewhere, go fetch them, go get them, put you back in as a whole, and then come back to here and now. Okay, I'll show you this card one more time. So here and now. All right. So I think that's all I have for you. And we will see you soon. And for my very first live YouTube, I think it went relatively okay. So please leave some comments. And tomorrow, I'm just going to announce it, but tomorrow, Chris and I will have interviews that will be airing tomorrow. We will send you reminders again tomorrow morning. But please sign up for our 2 interviews that are coming up, and one is on manifestation by Chris. It's really fascinating what he's going to be talking about. And the other one is with the creatrix, which is all about this beautiful feminine power and energy that is just divine feminine that cannot help it but surfacing right now. That's who I will be talking with, and that's the interview that's going to be airing tomorrow. So there will be 2 interviews tomorrow. So please sign up and go listen to us. And then we'll put the links on the YouTube channels as well. So if you haven't signed up and you don't know what interviews I'm talking about, I will put those down. Okay. So I will talk to you soon, everyone. Please enjoy the full moon. Let the light illuminate who you are. Let it shine. And let the full moon teach you what needs to be addressed, because it's shining the shadow side that you need to get in touch with. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. I'm just going to read a couple of comments and I'm going to go. But Deborah says, everything you communicate and the clear way you express is always so alignment and perfectly timely. Thank you, Masami and Chris. You welcome, Deborah. And thank you, everyone. I see you saying thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to try doing this once in a while when I have things to share. And you know I have a lot to share. So I'll see you soon, everyone. Bye.